Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
That's a solid win. That's a solid series win down in Houston. You take the first two games. Yes, it's unfortunate that we're going to record when they dropped game 3, 4-3 with Bailey Falter on the mound, and Trey Turner had an opportunity, and he looks a little lost right now at the dish. But here's what I know. You take a look at the previous series that this team has competed in. They win in Houston. They took the one against Seattle, and that was important to me how they did it. They had to fight back and climb back in game 2, and then they win game 3 1-0 because Castellanos and Kody Clemens, of all people, stepped up. Here's what's impressive about their most recent run, even dating back to Colorado, dating back to the Chicago White Sox. Maybe it wasn't an impressive on a game-to-game basis. There were some wins where I needed more. I needed to see this over a longer period of time for my needle to be moved, if you will. So many different players and unexpected heroes are starting to pop up. Jake Cave is legitimately hitting the baseball. Kody Clemens is showing off power. Before Pache got hurt, he started to turn it around. And yes, we've all taken our shots at Pache and a lot of the other guys, Kody Clemens. They're doing what Nick Maton and Matt Vierling did for you last year when the Phillies needed someone else, when injuries were real. And that's what's happening now. So many different players. Here's Nick Castellanos showing cockiness. The way he walked down to first base after one of his no-brainer bombs, staring it down. That's the Castellanos that I know this city will fall in love with. That's the Castellanos that I think Dave Dombrowski had in mind when he brought him over here and gave him a lot of money. This is beautiful from him. I got to be honest. This version of Nick Castellanos is tremendous to watch. It's so good. It's lethal. Tearing the cover off the ball. It's amazing. I love this. I need it more. This is what's real, though. In this game, not everyone's going to be hot at the same time. What do you do when one of your best players is struggling? Because it's difficult for 1 through 9, every game, to be murdering the baseball. It's not how it works. Guys will be cold. Others will be red hot. Some will be lukewarm. So I'm not worried about Trey Turner in the long run. He's an outstanding baseball player who earlier this year, we talked about how every single game it seemed like he was getting on base multiple times, and every time he was doing his job. You turn the corner in your living room. Let's say you had to go do something in your room. You had to go get your laundry in the laundry room, whatever, while the Phillies are on. A little background noise. Every time you step back in and you look at the screen, Trey Turner singled. Trey Turner doubled. Trey Turner's on base. That's how it was when the season began. So now there's some non-competitive at-bats that I'm sure he would like to have back. And he looks overwhelmed. This guy is a stud. It'll be okay. Wait for Bryce, too. Because he changes the game. And damn it, I'd be stunned if he's not in the lineup on Tuesday at this point. Going to get cleared by his doctor. They play the LA Dodgers. Go see the guy. Go get it all squared away. And then bada bing, bada boom. Your big bet is here. Now, I believe on the Anytime Hotline, I did get a text message about what I would do now that we're getting closer to him returning, what I would do with the lineup. And I gave this a lot of thought. And there's some things that I wish I could do differently because someone like Schwarber will be batting deeper than I want him to. But if I have to go with what I think gives this team the best chance right now, I'd go Stott. I'd go Turner. I'd put Harper at the 3. Because Nick is playing phenomenal baseball, he's in my cleanup spot. To break up the lefties, I'm going with Schwarber 5. And then you can go JT 6. Bohm 7. Marsh 8. And then you can figure out what you're doing at 9, whether it's Cave, whether it's Clemens, whether it's Edmundo Sosa, however you want to break it all down. And you could change and swap out 8 and 7 and 9 and do what you want there. But I think that's what I would go with the top of my lineup, which kind of surprises me because I've been very, 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 very harsh on the whole debate on where I want Kyle Schwarber because I want him to get as many at-bats as humanly possible. But I like the Stott-Turner duo up at the top more than I thought I would, and I think that's what's best for right now. That's what I think I would move forward with in the short term, and then I will adjust accordingly as I see this thing play out. Your team's very deep. At some point, someone's going to be batting 5th who you feel could get more at-bats, who could bat 3rd, who could bat 2nd, who could bat leadoff, who could bat cleanup. That's why your team is so strong. So we'll kind of see what Rob Thompson elects to do. But yeah, Aaron Nola and Zack Wheeler. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the season. Nola goes 8. You need that. You put so much pressure on your relief way too early in the season. Starters needed to get going. The last we saw Walker, it made me cringe. He had to leave the game. Apparently it wasn't anything too serious. Still, every time we discuss Walker, seems like a coin flip. What we need to change, though, is Aaron Nola and Zack Wheeler. When they are on the mound, it's not a coin flip. It's an effort that's so good. And this is why Aaron Nola is very controversial and irritating. Because he'll shut everybody up with an outing like that. Beautiful. On the road against a team that beat you up in the World Series, and he shoved. He shined. They had no clue how to approach him. And it means the world if you can find a way throughout the week or the weekend where you can allow your bullpen to snag a day. Basically, it could matter so much down the road in a series. Game 3 changes if Game 1 has a different tone set. And Aaron Nola did a tremendous job of doing that. And then Zack Wheeler, maybe not the most efficient night pitch count-wise, did go 6. 0 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. Did he throw a pitch to hit someone on purpose? Yes, he did. Did I feel the Astros countered in Game 3 with Kyle Schwarber? Yes, I did. They did it in their professional way. You wash your hands, you clean them off, you scrub them a bit with soap, on to the next one. That's what it looked like to me, at least. I think both teams got their jabs in. No matter if afterwards a little bit of a mound visit because of whatever. Physically, I smell like you wanted to get back at the Phils. Let's just move on and continue winning baseball. They climbed themselves out of a really brutal spot early on. Their record looks good, and they're going on the road and beating a really good opponent. We've been upset with losing to bad teams. Splitting series that you should win. Well, if you go out on the road and take 2 or 3 from Houston, I think that's a great way to put yourself in a good spot mentally for your superstar to return to your lineup as well. Let's keep the motor going. And for Nick, I think everybody's so proud in that clubhouse right now. No one's seen this yet. They know he's capable of it because Nick did it in Cincinnati and Nick did it in other areas in his career. So I'm sure the clubhouse had belief. But there's a difference between having a belief in one of your teammates and then actually seeing it happen on the field, watching it, the inspiration that it gives, the momentum that you can grab onto and squeeze. I'm fascinated to see how the team rolls with it. We know about Kyle Schwarber's leadership. Nick was all over the place last year. We haven't really been able to get a sense on what that feels like. How's the energy surrounding him? Everyone's got their own swag to them. When certain players do certain things, there's an emotional connection. I haven't really been able to see or witness or experience the Nick Castellanos effect yet. I want to see how the city follows, but not only that, the rest of the squad. Bryson Stott, Alec Boehm, some of the young ones, even some of the vets. Schwarber. How does it go? It's a long journey. But I like to see how each player goes about their version of leading. And this Nick one, it seems to be cocky, arrogant. See, it works when you're playing well. That vibe that Castellanos gives off, remember, going back to the press conference with him and Dave Dombrowski, I don't care where I hit, but, then he looks at Joe Girardi and goes, I would like to hit fourth. I didn't go to college to get a degree. I hit bombs, whatever the quote was. He was always a weird dude. It works, though, when there's a lot of home runs being hit and the box score says 3 RBI next to your name, or when it says 3 for 4. Can't wait to see this bomb continue. Even with Kody Clemens. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see Christian Pache coming. I didn't see this happening. But the Kevin Long effect is real. Even Sosa is proving to be a player that could step in way more than just your average role player and be more than just serviceable. I was stunned he missed that foul ball tonight on Sunday Night Baseball when he was going back on it on the back left shoulder. Just hit the top of his glove and fell into foul territory. That's unlike him, right? He's normally doing backflips, triple spinoramas, scooping the ball with his eyes closed and then throwing it behind his back 95 miles per hour across the diamond for a web gem. He's leaping 6,000 feet in the air for his vertical jump and snagging one over his head. He's tagging guys that are stealing second in between his legs. I'll never forget that screen grab dating back to last season. I don't know why guys run on JT still. You think the bigger bases plays are up? No, not really. JT still JT. Just in a general sense. The one attempt to steal that I saw later in the game tonight, little catcher's interference. Just cracks me up, though. Speaking of JT, there's some nice run production from the position behind the plate. All right, so at the end of the day, I want to make this clear. One, I really do appreciate everybody who's been reaching out to me over the last few days, asking me, where's the Phillies videos? You didn't do anything after the Seattle series. You didn't break down game by game with Houston. What's going on? Full disclosure, I'm a one-man show here, right? There's a lot that goes on in the sports schedule. The calendar's all over the place. With the NFL draft this weekend, I prioritized the Eagles selections and what Howie Roseman was doing. The Sixers are also about to start their second-round playoff run against Boston, and the Joel Embiid news is up in the air. There's some weeks where there's not that much active going on, and I have the ability to go game by game, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 7 o'clock starts, 6:40 starts. I'm able to go, every single night. We recap. Sometimes there's a lot going on throughout the first 2 games, and then the third game is a weekday game, so it makes the most sense to pile them all together and do a series recap. We're looking ahead against the Dodgers, a 10 o'clock start each night, and with the Sixers playing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the way this week breaks down, it looks like it's going to be a series recap kind of thing. My point is, I can't stress enough how much it means to me that many people want to hear the content and want the every night stuff. And seriously, it doesn't bother me because I just love you all so much, and it means the world that it wants to be seen that much. I'm an idiot. I'm a dope, right? I mean, come on now, look at me. Look what I've been doing for all these years. I've lost my damn mind. But I appreciate everyone wanting it. I'm watching the Phils. I promise. I don't forget about them. I'm tuned in night to night. It's just fitting everything in the schedule and making it make sense with where the sports calendar is. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I threw that in there. All right. We already read one text message on the hotline about the lineup. Let's do another text, and then I'll even take some calls here. Where are we? I think the most important piece to this set in Houston was starting pitching. Aaron Nola finishing 8 is big. Let's go, Nola. We have to see this continue. Next start has to at least be into the 7th. We cannot take step backwards. Also, Turner, wake up. Okay, so this individual feels like the starting pitching is trending in the right direction, so it seems. He's putting the demanding factor on Aaron Nola to keeping the lever down and staying with the foot on the gas so we don't see a 4th inning blow-up where he hits a wall after looking really good in the 3rd. I know that we've heard Ruben Amaro Jr. and Ben Davis and some of the pre- and post-game guys on NBC Sports Philadelphia bring up the fact that they're looking at his pitch rate and what pitches he's using and just trying to get a feel and a sense on his confidence level with some of his stuff. You know, we all talked about the cutter because of Caleb Cotham and how everybody seems to be adding that into the repertoire. So I'm kind of keeping a close eye on just how everything breaks down from that level to see what he's throwing and where he's at. And, you know, some nights his breaking ball has that filthy dip and it just breaks on a dime and guys are getting fooled. But then there's a lot of times that we've seen it sit flat, and that's when it gets left over the heart of the plate and you're watching someone swing with all their power and it gets crushed. And, you know, you just never know with Aaron Nola, and that's why I'm always in this very weird spot with him, because he does a lot of things well, and he deserves way more credit than the portion of the fan base that hates him. But then when he does this, the supporters say, see, he's an absolute dynamite weapon. Yeah, when he does this, I just need to see him string something together here, because it's been a rougher start to the year. But this is a great, great, great outing from him and Wheeler. You don't go anywhere without those two guys. Matt Strahm can keep you involved in games. Bailey Falter, same thing. He leaves some pitches up that get smoked, but ultimately, he gives you a chance. He gave you a chance again today. And some of those hits for the Astros to get in their extra run, their final run, some bleeders, some fighting off pitches, that's all part of the game, though. That's no excuse. They still lost. But sometimes he makes that mistake. But that's what happens when you're a Bailey Falter. My point is, though, Matt Strahm, Bailey Falter, they only take you so far. It's nice to snag a win when they're playing because, you know, following is someone significantly better. You can go back to the top of your rotation. So it's always nice to see your team get a victory when your back end starts. But they can only get you so much. You need to put fear in the eyes of the other team. When you're in the box, it's, damn it, man, it's Wheeler today. And that Wheeler, oh, it's the sharp Wheeler. The 98 is gross, and I can't catch up to it. The off-speed stuff is gnarly, and it's sick. I'm guessing. You know what happens when you start guessing? You look silly. And then you see the team trying to communicate in the dugout, talking about the sequence, but the next time around the lineup, the sequence changes. Now you're really confused. When Nola and Wheeler are going, that's what the other team needs to be like. Off, struggling, dazed. That's how the Phillies will string together their wins, because of those guys. And of course, your offense delivering like it has been. It's been a joy. Okay, let's take a call here. Here we go. No, still can't hear it? Okay. Well, this is a problem then. Okay. Anyway, I'll just tell you what the caller said, I guess. I don't know why it wouldn't be playing because I switched everything up. I'll just give you the rundown of it all, I guess, unfortunately. So he says that Trey Turner needs to, quote, man the fuck up and perform better at home because he heard a stat on the broadcast saying when he's playing away from Citizens Bank Park, he's doing a lot better. So I looked up the numbers here. He's pissed off with Trey Turner. I get it. I'm angry seeing him at some of his approaches right now, and it's not the Trey Turner that we envisioned watching. But at home right now, in 13 games, he's hitting 200 with 1 home run, 2 RBI, and 2 stolen bases. On the road, where they have played 15 games, so 2 more games away from South Philly, he's hitting 313 with 1 home run, 2 triples, 2 doubles, 5 RBI, 2 stolen bases, and 6 walks. So, yes, there is absolutely a difference from what he's doing away from home. I'll say to you, you have to give it more time. To go F-bomb, pick it the F up, this and that. I mean, there was a time this year where he was playing great. I'm not saying you don't have to hold your players accountable, but Trey Turner, as I've alluded to before, there are certain players that deserve longer leashes. Okay? Trey Turner is one of those guys. Bryce Harper is one of those guys. We gave Nick Castellanos a whole year. And now you're seeing what a season is when he's locked in. Trey Turner is going to be all right. Just like Nick Castellanos at some point was not going to continue down that path. He's too good. Trey Turner is hitting 260. Think about how bad this slump is. And he's at 260 right now. And it's bad. That shows you where it once was, that batting average. Now, it's diving downwards. But let's just take a deep breath on the Trey Turner stuff. It'll all even itself out. He probably won't be over a 300 hitter on the road over the long run. Maybe it's more 290. But he won't be a 200 hitter at home the rest of the way. I promise you that. I'm willing to put a lot of money on that. All right, well, I guess I can't play the rest of the calls. I'll read the dialogue of the voicemail because Google Voice does what is it? Sort of like a breaks down what is said. A transcript. I can't complain. This is from Aiden in Delaware. I can't complain. Phillies took 2 out of 3. I'm happy about that. I'm a little unhappy with how the game went today, though, because they ended up losing. Guys were on base that you could have knocked in. Trey Turner's in a terrible slump right now. I know. We're headed in the right direction. There you go. I can get behind that a little bit more. That's what I'm feeling. That exact way, I'm feeling the same way as Aiden. But with that, we're going to wrap things up here. This is great. This is solid. This team is winning a ton of series. And they're looking like a good baseball team that's playing the right way, that's feeling good about themselves when they're at the plate, that's scoring runs. Guys who you don't think of initially as your cornerstone pieces are becoming huge in big spots. and knocking in runs. And by the way, Bryce Harper should be back at a very historic pace, which doesn't surprise me. So it's all good in Phillies land right now. We'll watch this Dodger series and we'll react afterwards. Thank you guys so much, and I will speak to you all on the next one.